This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hola a todos, bienvenidos a In the House. Hoy tengo un invitado que es una de las primeras personas que conocí cuando llegué a Chicago. Lo primero que hice fue preguntar si quiero hacer stand-up en español, ¿con quién debería hablar? Y todos me señalaron Jaime de León. Así que hoy decidí invitarlo. Jaime tiene herencia mexicana, trabaja como comediante y como cuentista acá en Chicago. Así que muchas gracias por estar acá. Bienvenido, Jaime.
Gracias por tenerme.
Contame, Jaime, ¿cómo...? Porque vos naciste acá en Chicago, entonces me imagino que empezaste a hacer stand-up y storytelling en esta ciudad.
Sí.
¿Y cómo arrancó? Porque sé que puede variar según cada persona.
Uh-huh. Había un bar aquí en el barrio de Pilsen que se llamaba Martin's Corner, y ahí es donde íbamos mis amigos después del trabajo. Y no era como este bar, era mucho más rústico y más barrio. Entonces tenían un grupo que hacía improv como una vez al mes y estaban muy mal. Malísimos. Nomás llegaban como 5 de sus amigos para verlos. Entonces yo pensé, yo siempre quería intentar stand-up, pero no sabía ni cómo, por dónde. Pero cuando vi a ellos en el bar donde iba yo, pensé, pues si los dejan a ellos, tienen que dejarme a mí intentar stand-up aquí, ¿verdad?
Ok.
Entonces, cuando le mencioné la idea al dueño, me dijo, mira, vamos a hacer un open mic la semana que viene, mejor ven al open mic y allí puedes hacer tu stand-up. Y fui, invité a todos mis amigos, llegaron como 15, 20 de mis amigos, y luego le dije al dueño, dije, ¿dónde está la lista para firmar, para estar en el open mic? Digo, no, pues no hay lista, no hay nadie, nomás eres tú. Y le dije, ok, pero host, ¿hay un host? ¿Quién es el host? No hay host, nomás está el micrófono y el stage. Entonces, pues como fue mi propio open mic y de como...
Un éxito de producción.
Duré como 30 minutos, no sé ni cómo, ni qué estaba hablando, pero estuvo bien la experiencia. Y luego después un compañero me dice, quiero que hagas stand-up en mi cumpleaños. Y luego otra amiga me dice, quiero que hagas stand-up en un evento donde vamos a recaudar fondos para becas, para estudiantes. Y luego de allí, pues, siguió. Pero realmente no fue como hasta un año después que lo tomé en serio y empecé a buscar, no sé si existe la palabra gigs en español, pero...
Sí. Y me interesa como... ¿Tenés como separado en tu mente Jaime el comediante de stand-up y Jaime el storyteller?
Sí, porque para mí el storytelling es un medio que provee otra oportunidad. Por ejemplo, en mi stand-up tengo unos cuentos, o tuve idea para cuentos, pero eran muy largos para stand-up. Y no podía realmente realizarlos muy bien. Y quise intentar storytelling, entonces nomás fue el año pasado que empecé como cuentista. Y me fue bien, o sea, fui a un show muy popular en los Estados Unidos que se llama el Moth, que está en varias ciudades. Y la primera vez que fui, saqué segundo lugar. Y la segunda vez que fui, saqué el primer lugar.
¡Wow!
Y pues me cayó bien.
¡Wow! Es un montón.
Yeah.
Sí, en Argentina existe una pequeña escena. No sé si todos le dicen storytelling. Se empieza a mezclar como el slam de poesía con el relato oral, con el storytelling, como hay unas cosas. Y hay una noche en particular que la organiza... Ay, ¿cómo se llama? Bueno, hay como una... No sé si es una empresa o una escuela que organiza una noche mensual de storytelling en inglés. Entonces, muchos de los extranjeros que nos escriben... Yo tengo un show en inglés en Buenos Aires. muchos de los que nos escriben y no coincide con la fecha de nuestro show, los mando al storytelling. Como, bueno, esta es la otra propuesta en inglés que tiene Buenos Aires.
¿Pero qué hacen ellos? ¿Turistas o gente que vive ahí?
¿Para el show en inglés?
Uh-huh.
Tenemos como un combo de... Yo diría que hay una mitad de turistas y la otra mitad son inmigrantes o expats o la palabra que quieres usar, y argentinos que quieren practicar inglés, escuchar inglés. Y también es un poco como un showcase para cómicos que no hablan español y que no tienen otro lugar donde actuar en Buenos Aires.
Hay que ir.
De vez en cuando cae, no sé, justo hace 2-3 semanas estuvieron Chris Damon y... Ay, me estoy olvidando el nombre.
¿Chris Damon?
Chris Damon.
No sé quién es. No.
Bueno, es un comediante de acá de Chicago, que lo voy a tener que entrevistar también. Ahora justo estamos grabando este espectáculo en Simone's, que es un bar de Pilsen, donde hay un espectáculo mensual, que se llama Pilsen Stand-up. Pilsen es un barrio emblemático de Chicago, que tiene una comunidad latina, pero predominantemente mexicana. Y que tengo entendido está como en el punto álgido de gentrificación.
Sí. Sí, pero lo interesante es que ya tiene más de 10 años así.
Ok.
Y entonces quiere decir que la resistencia ha estado muy fuerte, ¿verdad? Porque sigue Pilsen conocido como un barrio latino, mexicano. Sigue la población... sigue la población, bueno, todavía por la mayoría, no mucho, pero mexicana. Entonces, es interesante porque creo que parte de la resistencia o del hecho de que no ha completamente cambiado es porque los hijos de las familias que han estado aquí por muchos años también están sembrando raíces. También están abriendo negocios, mandando a sus hijos a las escuelas. Entonces, y eso no pasa en muchos otros barrios donde está pasando la gentrification. O sea, las familias originales, los hijos se van a otros barrios y pues sí, no tienen no tienen otra generación que está siguiendo la presencia en la comunidad.
Claro. Y I'm gonna switch to English for a minute.
Thank you. Although I think my Spanish is pretty good.
Your Spanish is great. Oh, I have a message from Sonal Aragual.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
There's a little feud between the Spanish speakers in Chicago. They are fighting who has the better Spanish. So I might act as a judge on this. We'll see after we finish. I wanted to ask you because from what I've seen, most of the shows you produce are in the Pilsen or near area, but you don't live here. Did you live here when you started, or do you have a particular interest in this neighborhood?
I was born in Pilsen, and then when I was about 5 or 6 years old, we moved to Little Village, which is just next door, but even a bigger Mexican neighborhood, La Vita, La 26. You know.
Sí,
so
conozco como La Villita.
Sí.
Yes.
So I've lived in this. I just moved north less than 2 years ago. Okay. So I've been in this area my whole life, and I worked at a community-based nonprofit organization in Little Village for 11 years called Enlace, and so we did a lot of our work was to improve the quality of life for the residents of La Vita. And so we did a lot of. It's still a great organization. I still have lots of friends that work there. So I was very involved in that way in the community.
And I mentioned that I met you on a Cinco de Mayo show that was made in Spanish. I was very excited. I've heard that it was like one of the very few opportunities to see stand-up in Spanish, which surprised me because I like. The first thing I realized was how many Spanish speakers are actually in the city. Actually, the buses all say the instructions in English and Spanish, and like everything is in both languages. and I actually Google, and there's like a 30% Spanish-speaking population in Chicago. So I wonder why there's no more stand-up in Spanish. What do you think?
Well, there's very few Latino English-speaking comedians in the city. So, there's like, I don't know, 10 of us maybe, and maybe like half of them speak Spanish. So just like Latino comedians, period, is a small community.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, I mean, this is half of the population. No, really. I mean, at least the ones that like you see regularly and are like getting gigs consistently,
like
and
professional comedians.
Yeah, or at least just out in the scene. That you could say, oh yeah, I see, Joey or Soli all the time, whatever.
Yeah, Jess Martinez. I met.
Who?
Jess Martinez.
Oh, Jesse. I thought you said Jeff.
Sorry, Jeff.
Jeffrey.
Jess Martinez.
Jeff, yeah.
And she works with
Oscar Carvajal and Manny Acosta. So there's, pero están contados. O sea,
Yeah.
So
it's only a handful.
yeah, and so
And,
yeah, so
And also, not all of them speak fluent Spanish.
no,
I guess.
no. No, I'd say maybe half of us do.
Okay.
Yeah. And then out of that, like, not all of them feel that it's good enough to do stand up in Spanish, And so I think the way to get more Spanish stand up comedy shows, it has to come from people who are Spanish dominant speakers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who like that's their daily life, and they, they can maybe speak some English to get by, but like really
Comfortable. Yeah.
right. But like Spanish is their, first language, and so yeah. So that's where it has to come from for there to be some sort of real scene.
Yeah.
But in terms of Spanish speaking performances or art in general, it's hard to find.
Yeah. I
know what I
only
mean?
know that there is like one improv show called Improñol, and then there is Haroldo, or I don't know how they call it. The one that is like a Harold but in Spanish, Arayo.
Oh yeah. I don't.
That one, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, over the past, say, like, couple of years, there's been a couple of new groups that have emerged, like Las Tinas,
Ratas de dos patas.
Las Ratas de dos Patas, Latinx,
Yeah, Latinx.
Generation Latinx, I think they're called. So, yeah, so that's cool, like, improv and sketch.
Yeah, but I did see them because I performed with all of them at the Women's Funny Festival, and I would say, like, it's either Spanglish, but they don't usually, like, they were asked to perform in Spanish for that particular occasion, but they wouldn't usually do a full Spanish set. Like, they would probably do back and forth.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, I would think that it would be like a massive success to do like a monthly show in Spanish. Even if it was like...
It could be. Yeah, it just takes work because you have to just find the right buttons to push that will... For example, if I was doing a Spanish show and I had like $2,000 marketing budget, then I would buy an ad to air on Spanish language radio, right? Because that's everybody who speaks Spanish predominantly listens to Spanish language radio, right? But that's like $800 for like one minimal ad. It's but that's the way to porque si vas a un baile, pues está toda la pinche raza, o sea, de alguna manera se dieron cuenta de este baile, ¿verdad? Hay 10,000 gente en el concierto de Ramón Ayala.
Sí.
Puede estar 10,000 gente en un comedy show en español.
50.
O 50.
50. Con 50
you know?
somos muy felices. Sí.
Yeah.
No, y además me pregunto, Porque calculo que con los años uno se vuelve como bastante bueno en cómo promocionar un espectáculo, pero imagino que cuando uno intenta hacer de target a una población completamente distinta, como vos decís, las herramientas que uno tiene que pensar son totalmente distintas.
Ujú.
Entonces me imagino
Exactamente, yeah.
que debe llevar como, aunque uno se propusiera hoy empezar con un show de stand-up en español, tomaría varios meses hasta dar con la radio correcta, con los afiches correctos, dónde pegar los afiches, a quién invitar,
Ujú.
con quién hacer lobby, con quién hacer PR. Es como todo un trabajo. Lo cuento porque a mí me pasó lo mismo con el show en inglés en Buenos Aires,
Ujú.
que era muy difícil de vender,
Ujú.
muy difícil. Pero al mismo tiempo es...
Sí, o sea, la respuesta a tu pregunta, que es por qué no hay más, es porque la gente de habla hispana aquí en Chicago no están conectados con los medios de comunicaciones mainstream
Claro.
que son en inglés. Entonces tienes que usar los medios
Alternativos, sí.
que usan ellos, que son los de español, ¿verdad?
Claro. Bueno, mi challenge
Ujú.
2019-2020, si
Ujú.
llego a volver a Chicago, va a ser lograr el show de stand-up en español, hacer una inversión de publicidad y ver si
Ujú.
podemos llenar una sala.
Lo hicimos el primer show en español de stand-up en el Laugh Factory, que fue el año pasado.
Ujú.
Llegó 150 personas.
¡Wow!
Yeah.
No sabía eso.
Ujú. Estuvo muy, muy bueno. Aparte, creo que tuvo que ver mucho que un periódico de habla hispana que se llama Hoy nos hizo una entrevista. Y no llegaron gente, o sea, llegaron mexicanotes con su gorra y sus botas, y me puse a platicar con uno y le dije, ¿de dónde vienes? Y yo, de South Chicago, o sea, de bien lejos,
Sí.
¿verdad? De casi Indiana. Entonces, de alguna manera llegó la palabra, ¿verdad? Y eso es el chiste.
Sí.
Tiene que de alguna manera llegar la palabra.
Bueno, esto probablemente salga después, pero tengo entendido, vi en un flyer de que va a estar acá en Chicago tío Robert, que es un comediante mexicano, y que va a estar dando un workshop en español. Lo cual es muy interesante porque justamente me parece que hay un tema también como de generar que el comediante hable español o generar comediantes de habla hispana.
Ujú.
Entonces me parece que es como un gran círculo de que haya venues que hablen español, que haya gente interesada en ver comedia en español, que haya comediantes interesados en el español y que haya gente hispanohablante interesada en convertirse en comediante.
Ujú.
Así que veremos cómo resulta eso. Esperemos que... no sé.
¿Cuándo es eso, sabes?
Sí, del 21 o sea, la semana que viene, de lunes a viernes, de 7 a 9, y hay un show, no sé si este fin de semana o el otro. Después te paso toda la información.
¿Quién lo está haciendo?
Ahora te paso después por afuera porque empecé a seguir la productora y tienen 21 seguidores, o sea que nació ayer la productora. Es alguien que trajo a tío Robert y que armó alrededor de eso.
Okay.
Me interesa preguntarte ¿cómo ves la escena de Chicago en relación a la escena o de otras ciudades o de otros países? O si te lo pusiste a pensar.
Bueno, Chicago tiene la reputación de ser la ciudad donde vienen comediantes a aprender cómo ser comediantes.
Uh-huh.
Pero para conseguir el éxito, luego se van a Los Ángeles o Nueva York. Por eso es que hay mucho comediante aquí y mucho que no es de aquí, que vienen de Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, whatever.
Argentina.
Y yeah. So, ¿cómo ves? ¿Fue tu experiencia esa?
Yeah, that's pretty much what everyone told me. Like, my first week was like, "Hi, I'm Eliana. I'm from Buenos Aires. Oh, you're here to learn." Well, yeah, yeah, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I'm here for another year or 2 years and then I'm off to whatever. But I also met some people who decided to stay and they've been here for 5 or 10 years. But it's almost like they are the exception to the rule. Like I made a decision to stay. Whether in Buenos Aires it would be like, yeah, I live here. How would I even consider anything else? Y entonces eso me llamó mucho la atención. Al mismo tiempo tuve una experiencia muy rara que fue llegar. Yo pensé que me iba a tomar, no sé, yo estoy acá por 6 meses. Pensé que me iba a tomar 5 meses y medio entrar al circuito. Porque hasta que haces los mics, hasta que te conocen, hasta que a alguno le gustó tu material y te dice, vení un showcase, y ahí te ve otra persona que tiene otro showcase, pueden pasar muchos meses hasta que entres realmente como a hacer gigs y gigs y gigs. Y acá yo llegué y en 2 semanas me estaban invitando. Llegué y estuvo Ramiro Lynch, que es un argentino, que me invitó a su show, me puso en contacto con amigos de él, los amigos de él me pusieron en contacto con otra gente. En ese sentido me llamó muchísimo la atención, que hubiera como tan... Es cierto que digo, yo no soy nueva en la comedia, pero digo, es muy difícil decirle a alguien, sí, llevo mucho tiempo en la comedia, mirá mi currículum. Es muy difícil, tenés que ir a hacer el lobby, que te vean, que les guste. Y entonces estoy como súper sorprendida.
Pero te invitaron también porque estabas buena. O sea,
estabas buena en porteño quiere decir good looking.
Well, okay. That's true. Pero you know what I mean, right?
Sí,
like
sí,
if you were not very funny.
Sí.
Right? Like they were like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And then
bye.
Not like, "Hey, you want to do a set?" You know?
Yeah. Probably.
So, yeah. But it is like that. You're right. Si tienes algo que ofrecer que es un poco diferente, sí, te pueden reconocer muy rápido y invitar a un show porque hay tantos shows.
Sí.
No tienes que esperar a ver cuándo hay un show, a ver si me invitan, ¿no? So, good. So you had a good experience.
Yes. It was...
Was anybody mean to you?
Mean?
Was anybody like, why is this white girl pretending she's Latina?
No, but
who is this? Who is she?
I did...
Or I don't understand. She looks like Katie from Iowa, but she has a funny accent. It was very revealing because I come from Buenos Aires. I don't know the people who are listening to us. Buenos Aires is dominantly white, and we are dominantly from European descent. If you live like 40 miles outside of Buenos Aires, it's a whole different country. But for us, we live in Buenos Aires, which we are called porteños because we live next to the puerto. We live in a white bubble. We think Argentina is a white country. But at the same time, that's my reality. I was so used to just seeing white people predominantly. So being here was the first time that I was surrounded by all kinds of different people. And especially in comedy, because you can run into people who don't look like you in the market, but doesn't make much of a difference. Now, when you're in a comedy show and you're Latina and another person is African American and the other person is, I don't know, transgender or whatever, all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is completely different. Completely. It's a whole new game. And I did have the weird experience of being white and Latin because people told me I was a POC. And I was like, okay, so I guess okay, I always thought I was white. Like I'm the if you have never seen my face, I'm the whitest white you'll ever see. And then I got here and I was like, oh, maybe I am POC. Like your name is Eliana de Casa.
Yes.
Oh, hello. I just realized why you named your podcast In the House. Duh!
Yeah.
Duh.
Shittiest name ever. Sorry.
Should be In the Casa.
In the Casa. With Eliana at the house. So And then another friend who is also Argentinian, but he's living in LA, he told me, no, you're not POC. These people told you this because in their heads, there are no white Latin people. And here it's so strange because I have you can see anyone who looks like 100 times more Latin than I do, but they speak fluent English, and I have the strongest accent you'll ever see. But at the same time, it's not a Mexican accent, which is the most common Latin accent in Chicago. It's like, she has an accent, but where is it from?
Yeah, right.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
So it's a very different experience. Have you ever what's your experience on like ethnicity and accents and all of that in the comedy world?
No one's ever said anything about my accent, because I think it's just a Chicago accent.
Probably.
Or South Side. You know what's interesting? You talk about this white bubble. I think that there are small white bubbles within the Chicago comedy scene.
Probably.
You know, there's still lots of shows that you could see their lineup almost every week, and it's like maybe one POC, you know. But I think that it has definitely shifted in terms of people's consciousness. I remember when I first started doing comedy, like, there was, Facebook fight, among comedians.
Yeah.
And, and they were talking about the division between POC and white comics, which also mostly falls along this north-south divide.
Yeah.
Right? And a producer of the show was like, "Oh, I don't care where you're from or what color you are. We book you. Yeah, right. If you're funny, we book you. We booked anyone." And then I looked at his lineup from the last 3 shows, all white guys.
Yeah.
And so I called him out, and he got so mad.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But like, that was 8 years ago. Now,
Wow.
Yeah, like now, I think people like him understand.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh shit, these are all dudes,
Yeah. And do you think that's because they are more self-aware, or because they feel pressure to be a little bit more diverse?
Oh, I think it has, I think it has to do with,
It stopped.
I think they were just checking.
Amazing.
I think it has a lot more to do with pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah. They don't want to be seen as, the worst thing.
Estamos teniendo acá una batalla con la música. Probablemente están probando la música porque estamos por hacer un show en un par de horas. No pasa nada, esto después se corta.
Yeah, okay. Ya está.
Muchas gracias.
I was gonna say the worst thing you can call an American white person is a racist. It's just like,
yeah, it's so weird because the Chicago is like a liberal bubble inside a very I don't know if redneck is the word for this, but it's a very the Midwest is not particularly liberal, just Chicago, as far as I know. Am I right? Am I wrong?
I'd say that's generally. I think I think it'd be more accurate if you said basically like urban compared to rural.
Probably.
And then even like within that context, suburban is another demographic, right? Like like suburban Chicago soccer moms is a whole other demographic that's not country, that's not necessarily conservative. It's a mix. It's a hodgepodge of stuff,
See. But what I've noticed is that comedians is a particularly aware scene. Not all of it, of course, not all of it. But I did, from like in comparison to Argentina, I did realize there was so much more people being like taken care of, like having POC people, women, others. I don't know the word in English. No binarias.
You think Chicago is more liberal than Buenos Aires?
Yeah, probably. Though,
Is it because it's a more mixed population?
For example, we've never had to, like, I've been with a number of other people pushing to have more women in shows, because there used to be a lineup of 8 people and only 1 woman, and that was like, oh no, we include women, and it's like, no, we don't want to be included, we want to be just as much as you, because
but I think a fair question is, what is the number of women
in comedy
compared to
right
men?
now it's almost 40% in Argentina.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
So when I go to a show and there's only 1 woman, that's underrepresentation. I get that you sometimes don't get to have 4 and 4, but if you don't have 2, that's weird.
Avi, what's the percentage of women comedians in Chicago? Out of all the comedians, how much would you say are 20?
25, 30 maybe. Like, that's not a lot.
Entre 25 y 30. Sí.
Pero beyond the open mic level,
No.
Yeah, beyond the open mic level.
Beyond the open mic level.
it'd be like 30%, if that.
Sí, hay una diferencia enorme. Creo que lo hablé con Sonal, que me dijo, a nivel open mic son muy pocas. Después, una vez que pasan como el nivel open mic y empiezan a hacer showcases, ahí sí es mucho más receptivo, hay como más inclusión, se trata con más respeto, pero en el nivel de los open mics parece que es como una jungla de hombres en donde las mujeres se sienten muy incómodas. A mí me llama muchísimo la atención porque en general la experiencia de Buenos Aires es la opuesta. Cuando empezamos somos 50 y 50. Casi. Ponele casi 50 y 50. Y después, a medida que van subiendo, vos mirás en los showcases, después mirás en tele, y de 50 y 50 pasamos a 60-40, y después mirás la tele y somos el 20%. Y es como, pero había talento, o había como ganas de ser comediante. ¿Qué pasó? Entonces yo culpo al trayecto, que es como, evidentemente acá se le puso barreras a esta gente.
Y cuando dices cuando empezamos, ¿cuándo fue eso? ¿Y cómo surgió el stand-up en Argentina?
Bueno, el stand-up en Argentina surge, la historia oficial es un comediante que se llama Alejandro Angelini, leyó el libro de Judy Carter, The Comedy Bible. Estamos hablando de un libro de los 80, muy desactualizado, hasta el día de hoy igual muy útil, muy útil. Si viven en el medio de la jungla y quieren aprender a hacer stand-up, compren ese libro que les va a servir, es mucho mejor que nada. Y se vino a Nueva York a tomar el curso de Judy Carter. 20 años. Volvió y se puso a dar clases. Sus egresados fueron la primera camada de comediantes de Buenos Aires. Se pusieron a hacer shows, varios de ellos después pusieron sus propias escuelas. Y casi todos los que somos colegas ahora somos alumnos, exalumnos de esos profesores, o sea, como tercera generación, si se quiere. Pero casi todos en Argentina arrancan con un curso de stand-up. Ese es... Jaime está frunciendo el ceño.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Who the fuck? Chewy Carter?
¿Quién?
Chewy Carter?
Judy.
Oh, Judy.
Judy.
Judy Carter?
Yeah.
She has a book on how to be stand-up comedian that came out in the 80s.
Yeah. It's called The Comedy Bible, and she
Oh, the Comedy Bible. You heard of this book?
I bought it. Not so good.
It's not so good?
No, that's why I'm so good.
Oh.
It's just a manual, like, this is a setup, a punchline, these are the kinds of punchlines, this is a premise, just basic knowledge for someone who doesn't know anything about stand-up.
I guess I don't know anything about stand-up then. Shit. I haven't read the book.
No, but it's interesting because I know here, like, taking a class on stand-up is a little bit frowned upon.
I mean, I don't know who frowns upon it. I mean, I think what people probably say is that you're, but that's because we're in Chicago. That like your best course is to just go to open mics.
Yeah.
Because there's so many open mics.
Yeah.
But you can't really say that somewhere else where there's no open mics, right?
No, and also having been to not 100, but a number of open mics, I do believe that a lot of these people would benefit from taking a class and not putting every other comic in the room through 4 minutes of just blah, 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 blah. Because no one is working on their craft before going to the open mic. They just go, do a list of, and it's not a list of jokes, it's a list of topics.
Premises, yeah.
Premises.
Yeah.
And they just go on stage and work on them. It looks like it takes years for them to develop a routine. Like, they are not working on, like, making the logical association of, okay, this is a good idea, but what can I do with it? Like, where can it go? Where does it get funny? They just go to the open mic and say it out loud 1,000,000 times. And it's like, open mics here can be like 3 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
And it's exhausting and it's not funny at all.
Yeah, you could see like 10 guys in a row and they're all almost the exact same person.
Yes.
Just like, oh my god, you're just like the last
My
guy.
dick is still
you
small.
You have a beard and you have glasses and you're talking about Tinder and your small dick and Game of Thrones and
Yeah.
the Molly you did last week. And
One of the first shows I did, 3 comics did jokes on their dicks being too small. So I just got on stage and asked, like, is the Chicago dick smaller than average? Because it's so, I don't know. Or the comics are all, I don't know. Don't want to know. Don't really want to know. What do you see happening in the comedy scene in the next 5 to 10 years? And I mean this, whether it's in Pilsen, whether it's in Chicago, whether it's Netflix, or like, what do you see happening, or what would you like to see happen?
well, I'd like to see more Spanish shows everywhere.
A Chicago, ¿llegan los especiales de comedia de México, Argentina, España, o no?
Sí,
Porque
sí,
que
los más conocidos.
Okay.
Ya. Ya, sí vienen y sí se llena, sí. Ha venido Franco Escamilla. But yeah, and even the older comedians that like my parents are familiar with, like, yeah, they come, they come, but it's not super consistent.
Yeah.
You know.
And it doesn't look like there is a new generation of new comics that are Latin and Spanish speakers that are attracting like younger people.
I think there is actually, because stand-up's gotten really big in Mexico, and so like Franco Escamilla, and then ¿cómo se llama esta mujer?
Sofía Niño.
Sí, Sofía Niño
Rivero.
her, she's come. A couple other guys have come. I mean, I don't think it's huge. They're huge here yet.
Yeah.
Just amongst the people that know them. But something's happening.
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do with the surgence of stand-up in Mexico and other Latin American countries, like Argentina.
Do you ever see yourself, like, touring outside of the United States?
Oh, I would love to. I did with Sonal. We went to Mexico.
Really?
And another mutual friend and comedian named Azar Usman, also Indian. And we did... So I did a workshop en una universidad que se llama el TEC de Monterrey, pero en el campus de León, Guanajuato. Era un taller para los estudiantes de allí de una semana, y luego después hicimos un tour de 5 shows en diferentes ciudades que terminó en la Ciudad de México, y estuvo bien. Estuvo los Sonal and Azar, 2 Indian Americans. Azar is Muslim, and it was just a wild experience. We did a show in un cerezo, which is like a prison, a Mexican prison in León, Guanajuato.
Wow.
For Mexican prisoners, o detenidos, and it was amazing. It was crazy. Just like three American stand-up comics, one of Mexican descent and two of Indian descent, and they loved it. It was a great show. So I would love to do more stuff like that all over Latin America. Man, if I could be if for a living, I could be this like binational, comedian, like doing stuff here and there. It's just hard, I think, because I think it's really easy for people to brand you one type of comedian.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're Spanish language comic. No, I will kick ass in English, right? Like I will murder in English,
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to do that. And in terms of like my hopes and dreams for like stand up in general, I have hopes and dreams for myself. I don't know. I mean, I think the scene is just going to turn into or just going to continue to reflect the cultural shifts in our society. It's going to, right? And so and it already has, right? Like it does every few years. It has recently, which I think has created a lot of debate, in the community around this notion of, people will say, oh, politically correct culture is ruining comedy, and I think it's a really, really tricky subject. I think that it's really easy for people to say that the political, correctness is ruining comedy, but I also think it's easy for people who have hateful shit to say to use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
It's like, well, wait a minute. It's
there's
been political correctness has led to progress that has at least made the dominant culture understand that shit needs to change, right? Like we always have to be reminding the dominant culture of what it means to be respectful of minority communities, right? People of color, of marginalized communities. Like I wonder, like you think back, let's say 60 years ago, if when like the N-word became something you don't say, right? And we're like even in the South, like there was pressure to like were people back then saying like, oh, that's ruining the way we communicate with each other. That's ruining our ability to express, so like,
Yes.
Right? Like, there is some sacrifice when it comes to progress, but that doesn't mean you can't fucking be funny,
Yeah.
That means like, it's...
You can either take it as a challenge or complain about it. Y me parece lo más triste es porque yo puedo entender el desafío de que political correctness le pone una barrera al comediante. No creo que haya matado la comedia, creo que le pone una barrera y creo que condiciona el trabajo del comediante porque uno tiene que andar como esquivando palabras o temas sensibles o ver cómo abordarlos. Me parece que es un desafío más que una restricción.
Sí.
Y lo más triste me parece que es que hasta ahora no he visto un solo cómico que haya dicho como political correctness has killed comedy y después haya hecho un set brillante. Nunca lo vi. Entonces me parece que se están hundiendo solos porque hasta ahora no hay uno solo que haya tenido ese argumento y que lo haya podido sostener con un especial que esté buenísimo. Que como lo quiero ver, si esta es tu opinión, defendela. Sí. Defendela, pero defendela con buenos chistes.
Claro. Pero aparte de eso, o sea, hay comediantes que siguen igual y no, o sea, se están quejando de political correctness, but they haven't changed their, like, what are you complaining about? You haven't even changed your shit up, right? Like, like it was so interesting that, like, a big topic of debate was Dave Chappelle's last special.
Yes.
But then if you watch Bill Barr's last special,
that
shit was like, what?
No,
the fuck?
I
Like,
stopped at the first 5 minutes.
He was like,
Why
me
you
too, fuck
complaining?
you, me too. What are you complaining about, women? Shut the, like, wow, like that was just like straight up, not even like jokes. Some of them was just like not even jokes, just like shut up, women, like stop complaining, women.
I had to take this in Britain because in America you can't say shit no more. And it's like, no, it's fucking the first rule in the Constitution. You can say whatever you want. You just don't like people talking back at you. That's what people are having problems with.
That's a real good point. Yeah.
That's what they don't like.
You don't want people having opinions about what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel we have reached an explosion point at this podcast. Anything you would like to broadcast to the world?
Chicago has the best stand-up comedians in the world. One of them is Jaime de León.
Perfecto. Para los que hablan solo español, Chicago tiene la mejor comedia de escena, es la mejor escena de comedia del mundo, y entre ellos está Jaime de León. Bueno, muchísimas gracias, Jaime.
Gracias a ti.
Gracias a todos por escucharnos y los vemos la semana que viene. Esto fue In the House.
In the house.